Now, Israeli attacks have killed more than 800 Palestinian athletes and sports officials in Gaza. More than 400 were football players. Nearly half of them were children. Among the most prominent is Palestine's first Olympian, the long-distance athlete Majid Abu Marakhil. Others include Paralympic cyclist Ahmad al-Dali and volleyball player Mohamed Abu Asi. One of the latest victims was former national team footballer Suleiman al-Obeid, known as the Palestinian Pele. He was killed earlier this month while he was waiting for food. 90% of Gaza's sports facilities, including stadiums and gyms and playing fields, have been destroyed. Now, athletes in Gaza say escaping bombs and finding food or shelter have replaced their endurance training, gym sessions and matches. Many of them, who once took pride in their skills or their physique, say they no longer recognize themselves. Moath al-Kahlout reports from Gaza City.
Israel's genocide in Gaza has devastated all aspects of life, and sport is no exception. Suleiman al-Obeid, a former national team player, nicknamed the Palestinian Pele, was killed near Zakim while waiting for food. His final appearance wasn't a football game, but a desperate act of survival. Others are in similar situations. The spotlights of the stadium replaced by the shadow of war. Mahmoud Selmi doesn't train anymore. He no longer owns a pair of football boots or even a ball. Repeated displacement has turned his life into a continuous struggle.
في أسباب كثيرة الحرب سببتها.
There are a lot of reasons. Because of the war, we don't have any place to train. I don't have enough food or clean water, which are important for a football player. I also don't have any training equipment. And with all the moving from place to place, it's really hard to keep up with regular practice.
Before the war, Mahir Haboush was a bodybuilder. He says he used to exercise regularly, eat well and keep fit. But the destruction of gyms and the lack of food have taken their toll on his body.
I've lost more than 20 kilograms since the war began, mostly because of hunger. I went to Netzarim to get some flour for my children from humanitarian aid. We usually get only one meal every 2 days. The goal is simply to survive. I'm not thinking about proper food or nutrition for bodybuilding anymore.
In the absence of equipment, Mahir says the closest he gets to training is carrying his daughter when they flee from Israeli bombs and bullets.
In Gaza, athletes are starved, forcibly displaced and killed. Stadiums have become shelters, and sport, once a symbol of life, is now a casualty of war. Moath al-Kahlout, Jazeera, from Gaza City, Palestine.
Ehab Abu Jazar is head coach of the Palestine national football team. He's joining us live from Ramallah. He's going to be talking to us through a translator. Thank you very much indeed for being with us. Can you tell us how important sport is to people in Gaza?
Thank you very much for having me. For sure, sports in Gaza was very important and very vital for the people in Gaza, because the people of Gaza love sports in general and love football in particular. The stadiums were full, the fans were all over the place, and football in Gaza is very vital and very important, and it is very much loved by the people in Gaza. The Gazan society play football, if I could say, not professional players, but just amateurs, and they all play in Gaza football.
Can you describe to us the difference between playing sport in Gaza before the war and what it's like now?
Frankly speaking, after the Israeli aggression on Gaza Strip and the genocide war against the Palestinian people, sports have gone in Gaza Strip. We don't have sports facilities at all now. Most of the sports facilities have been destroyed by the Israeli forces. Even no practice, no sports in West Bank. The Palestinian League has stopped since the start of the war until today. Honestly speaking, we face a lot of problems in moving from a place to a place. Thus, the sports activities in Gaza and West Bank have stopped completely. Only the national team plays, and it's quite important for us to have our national team representing Palestine, particularly in these difficult times.
People in sport often want to stay away from politics, but it can also be a very close community around the world. Do you know if people in sport around the world are aware of what's happening in Gaza?
Honestly speaking, I can say that sports and athletes in the entire world are aware of the situation in Gaza. The entire world is watching what's going on in Gaza in all TV channels. And we have seen how affected the world and the athletes towards what is happening in Ukraine. But nothing similar has happened regarding Gaza. One Arab star, Mo Salah, has forced the European UEFA to be more aware, and they must be at the ceremony of delivering the medals. And the stars, the big names in football industry, and all the celebrities must be aware and there and represented in these occasions, because it's not only politics, it's humanitarian as well, the situation.
Now, when footballer Suleiman al-Obeid was killed, Egyptian footballer Mo Salah had criticised UEFA for its tribute because it didn't refer to how or where he died. You, I understand, knew Suleiman al-Obeid. Just talk to us about what kind of impression, what kind of impact he had in Gaza.
For sure, what has been said and written by a star like Mo Salah has been effect on the Palestinian people in Gaza, particularly the family of Suleiman al-Obeid, the late Suleiman al-Obeid, and the athletes in Palestine. Mo Salah is a big star, and it has what he said. His words have big impact on the UEFA, and it was at the right time, and it was very important. And we thank Mo Salah very much for what he has said, and we call all the stars of the world to follow up the steps of Mo Salah.
Sports heroes around the world are very often held up as ideals for people in their community and people in their countries. Can you give us an idea of how the sporting stars in Gaza affected the lives of particularly young people in Gaza?
Suleiman al-Obeid will never be the last martyr athlete. He is not the first, and he will never be the last. After Suleiman al-Obeid, 4 or 5 players have been killed. Hani al-Msaddaq, who was my assistant, was also killed. More than a player were killed. And throughout the struggle with this occupation, we have martyrs from the athletes, coaches and players. The Palestinian player and the Palestinian athlete and the athletes in Gaza particularly always think and work on how to represent his country, how to play good football, and how to pave the way for himself to be a good player. But the aggression and the occupation and the recent war against Gaza Strip was a very, very threat to the Palestinian people, to the Palestinian sports, to the Palestinian athletes. Since the start of the war, football in Gaza have come to an end, and the West Bank is not better than Gaza in this case.
Finally, sir, sport is often seen as a way of bringing communities together. What's going to happen if sport in Gaza can't be rebuilt?
For sure, the Palestinian athletes and the Palestinian national team, Palestinian sports, and Jibril Rjoub, the chairman of our Palestinian association, we say that the Palestinian athletes must be away from politics and the complexity of politics. Our national identity as Palestinians is represented through the national team. The flag of Palestine is there in every place, and we are now competitors after some time. Now we are competitors. Our players are competitors in all the championships. We have in our heart the Palestinian cause, and we work hard to tell the world that despite the genocide and the harsh circumstances in Gaza and West Bank, we have Palestinian athletes who are trying hard to play football and who are trying hard to send the message to the entire world, and they are trying to tell the world, please be careful, there is a Palestinian people who are willing to have peace.
Ehab Abu Jazar, head coach of the Palestine national football team. Sir, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.